subscribe, hit that notification button. Don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Come off mute, Dave. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dwayne Kimball. I'm founder of KMD 89 VA Claims Consulting, United States Army veteran and retired VA Raider. And I'm joined by
David Piatek with VA Housing Education, also a loan officer with Waterman Bank. So, Dwayne, I think this is a comeback because last time we did this live, we did 12 hours long, baby.
That was a long time. But you know, it went kind of quick. And before we get into this, everybody, we are sticking to the 1 hour. We're going to start sticking to that 1 hour. We used to go over a couple of minutes, 10, 12 minutes, but we got to stick to the 1 hour tonight. But yeah, it's we had a lot of support. So if you didn't see the video that did, thanking everybody for joining. We didn't have some people signed up, but they didn't come on to answer their questions live. But I think we had about 4 or 5 people that did come on.
We had a lot of people actually come on, and then we had so it was pretty cool. Someone's already asking in the comments, when's the next 8-hour one? Like, whoa. Yeah, so
maybe we cut that in half.
That we're like, 12 hours is definitely like, it's a process, right? I think doing like 4 hours. Yeah, I think that's realistic. So excited.
But we had some help behind the scenes, our virtual assistants, the advertising and stuff. That took a load off of us. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into it. Before we get into it, just want to let everybody know my monthly veteran membership group, it is live. We went live May 1st. Today, lunchtime today was our first live webinar. So if you are in the membership group, I will be uploading the recording today. So don't worry, we did record it. So you can go in the membership site and view that at your leisure. So Dave, we want to go ahead and jump into some questions, right? Also, I got Dave contact information scrolling down below, www.vahousingeducation.com to schedule a call with Dave and his team.
Well, you know what, Dwayne, right now, the website, I had to take it down because we got to do some maintenance to it. But no big deal. In the description of the video, you guys will have the link to actually be able to set up a time and write to my Calendly. So it's right in there.
Right. So I put up your YouTube channel, VA Housing Education. So we'll roll with that one. Also, I'll put the link to the monthly membership, and I'll be dropping that link throughout this evening. So let's go ahead and get started because we are stopping right at 7 p.m. This gonna be a goodie. Now, Dave, we went over that 12 hours like about 2 or 3 minutes. You want to know why? Because Derwin, I think, came in and asked 2 questions that he was like, "Oh,
I like it." Derwin the Destroyer.
Yeah, but he came in early today.
Yeah, and also probably I can shoot off we answer these because I know we kind of put some topics out there that we're going to talk about. So we will answer a couple questions and I'll kind of do like a presentation on like, hey guys, like this is what an update is. Answer some questions and talk about more stuff.
Yep, go back and forth. Cool. Greetings again. This is the net. Husband received expedited request for CMP exams. Suspect it was due to your advice. Okay, he's employed and used M21 manual references. And there you go. To support the 50% criteria for migraines. One, if they are now considering him for TDIU, doubt he'll be eligible since he made significantly more than dollars in 223 than IU criteria lost. Well, if he's no longer working, then that pay that he was making in 2003 doesn't count because he's not working right now. Okay. So the only way that they would grant IU, either if you apply for it or if they inferred it. Okay. Because I talked to a veteran earlier and they inferred it and then they denied. VA raters are not supposed to infer IU just to deny. Okay. So it's probably a little bit more behind that backstory. So I'm glad he got his claim expedited. Definitely appreciate that. Yep. We appreciate it as well. This is Chris. Yeah, this is Chris. He was the first one on the 12-hour, Dave. They came
Oh
in,
yeah,
and then he came back in. He came back in.
savages.
With his 8 hours. It's gonna be a while for that one. Probably we'll figure it out. We'll probably just do what, Dave? Maybe 4 hours or something.
Yeah, I think 4 hours is manageable to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Unless you guys want to come over and babysit, because someone's got to do the babysitting
you gotta do more. Yeah. Dwayne, thank you. After 40 years out of service, checking your video. I was 0%, 10%, and now 80% and going, okay, there you go. Okay, Carlos,
Congrats.
good job. It's all about, the education. And Dave puts out a lot of good videos on the VA home loan process. And I'll watch him after I drop my son off at school. And I'm like, man, I've been knowing Dave almost a year. He didn't tell me about that. I'm just constantly learning stuff,
Even after that 12 hours, Dwayne?
Oh, yeah. Because I was telling you, I watched the one where you and Lourdes did the live stream. And then watched the one about something about the state of Illinois. You had the different counties.
Oh, yeah, like how VA disability tax breaks work depending on where you live.
Right. And I didn't watch the one where you had the cool hat on and turn around. I haven't watched that one yet. I saw it.
Oh, thank you.
Come on. I think this is for you, Dave.
Yeah, my credit went down because I could not work and VA took 13 weeks to grant 100%. I got behind in credit cards. I'm already at 600 again. Can I apply for a VA home loan? Yes. So the question is that you can. Now, and I did a video on this not too long ago around looking at your complete financial picture for the VA loan, because the VA loan technically doesn't have a minimum credit score. Lenders do. So we can go down to 500 credit score, but it's going to depend on your financial picture, right? And I understand that it takes time, especially with the VA piece to it. So if you've been really consistent for the last 12 months on paying your bills, we can show consistency and then, kind of show like, hey, this was an isolated incident that happened. Then there's a good chance that you can do it. So especially if you have the disability, and you can't qualify with just VA disability alone. You don't need to be employed on top of that unless you're trying to go for a higher dollar amount. And if you're married, like your picture suggests, then maybe you can use your spouse's income to also be able to use that to qualify. So you can use both. I would still, and I always say, never disqualify yourself. At least know where you stand. So we're happy to do that no matter what you're trying to do.
Okay. Let's see.
So thank you for the question, though.
I am 61 and just got rated at 80%. Will I be reevaluated? I know where this question is coming from. There's a lot of YouTube clickbait out there. Age has nothing to do with reevaluation. It depends on if your condition is static or if you have a routine future exam. And man, you are in luck, because I have a video on my channel where I explain static, and I have a video on my channel that explains routine future exams, which are reevaluations. So make sure you go to my channel and you check out both those two videos. But I don't know where this is coming from. Somebody's out there that is saying that, hey, if you're this, you're going to get reevaluated. But check out those two videos. So Dave, before we move forward, we got one more question. This is for you, Dave. Then we'll get into
Yep. Dude, what was the website you said you could look up homes that were kind of like a bidding thing? You said HUD was somewhere in the URL. Yes. So it's not. Yeah. So I'm going to share with you guys HUD foreclosures. I'm going to post it right now. And this is where you can see like all the homes that went into foreclosure, but there's not that many. You can go to auction sites. Those are legit. Like I got military buddies that use them. I just don't know who they use, because we typically stay away from that, because normally you need to come in like in a cash situation to buy those. But these HUD homes do have special programs where you can do as little as like $100 down, maybe do an FHA loan, kind of like figure out what you have in your entitlement. But yeah, that's definitely an option. I dropped it in the link below. Hopefully that's what you were looking for.
Okay. So Dave, we're going to go ahead and get in that topic, and I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away.
All right, perfect. So one thing that I want to talk about is the National Association of Realtors lawsuit update. So about a couple months ago, they kind of went into an agreement and basically said that, actually, let me back up. What am I doing? Let me back up a sec. The NAR lawsuit is basically where homeowners sued the National Association and the top 5 real estate companies because they were like price fixing, or they were forcing sellers to pay buyers agents commissions. Okay, that's the problem with the whole thing. That's why I needed to back up for some of you that don't know what's about to drop. So about a month and a half ago, they basically came out and said that, they're going to change the MLS service. They're not going to show commissions. And now they want people to actually start like having buyer representation agreements in place. So now you have to sign an agreement with your realtor. You know how much money you're going to be paying, all that kind of fun stuff. Well, the problem is that veterans legally cannot pay a penny. So even if you want to hire a realtor and pay for them, you can't, right? Unless it's paid for by the seller or the lender. But lenders are not going to give you a credit to cover that. That would raise your rate too high. The margins aren't there. And then the flip side, people are all excited because other programs will let the sellers give a credit for that co-op fee, but that's just like smoke and mirrors. Like they're just basically, it doesn't even count. But with VA loans, you just don't have the option of paying the realtor a fee for their services. The sellers can pay for it. That's how it's customarily done. The VA says, and the National Association of Realtors sent an email blast to the VA saying like, oh, this is causing undue harm. This is the let's just be real. Let's be real here, okay? The reason why they say it is because you can search properties online. Okay? It's full access to it. You can go on realtor.com or anywhere else. I see people right now, because the market's shifting. We're already seeing properties without co-ops, meaning that buyers agents aren't paying it. And then we see clients sign 2 or 3% real estate commission agreements. So now they buy a $600,000 home. They're out, $12,000 to $18,000 for hiring an agent. Good agents are 100% worth it. It's like the general workplace, right? Top 80% top 20% do 80% of the work. Okay. And so you find someone really good, it's worth it, but there's a lot of people that are just not good at what they do. It's like you try to learn about VA disability. There's a lot of people that just like don't know their head from their rear, right? They're just kind of talking stuff, and then that ends up biting you in the rear where you lose disability. Or like lenders that tell you stuff and then that you miss on opportunities. So it's the same thing. You meet someone good that can help you with that. So, I did a video not too long ago asking the communities, like, what do you guys think should be implemented to help the veteran community to be able to search for homes on their own? What information do you want to know? Because we can create a platform to help bridge that. And a lot of it is like industry secrets, or like it's behind the curtain. That's the problem. It's like what we do with disability and VA loans. I want you to know. It may not be good that you know some of the stuff, but I want you guys to know what it is, because you have to know how the back end works in order for you to structure what you want to do. So about 2 weeks ago now, the judge came out and basically solidified that, yes, we're going to approve this, but it's not going to be finalized until November of 2024, which is, yeah. So that's kind of like the big thing that continues to kind of propel. And veterans, I don't know. It's like, who's going to want to help you when they can't make money?
Right. So the seller, if you are a veteran and you selling, you still have to pay that 3%, right?
No. So like that's the part of the lawsuit, because like,
I mean, your agent, if you have an agent. So if I'm selling my house and I have an agent that's helping me, I still have to pay them 3%.
No, so that's a thing. So that's another part of this lawsuit, is that like they were price fixing, like, oh, it's standard 3% or standard 6%. That's not. It's a negotiated item. You want to pay $100, you can do that. if you find someone, and there's people out there that just will list your property and you do the rest on your own, so you could save a ton of money.
Right.
So that already exists, right? You have firms that will do that. Where the flip side is that on the buy side, normally you didn't have buyers paying. I mean, this is, I
The
still haven't
seller
had
paid
it
it. Yeah.
happen. No, I haven't. I've had it happen in the past, but then the agent didn't realize that they can't charge the client. So the client was willing to pay, but we're like, hey, federally, they can't. It's a law. And they were just like, well, we didn't know that. And I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's the rule, right?
That's rule.
Um, and you know, and it might have negative effects on the veteran community because they might try to tell them like, well, let's increase the purchase price and build in the fee, which goes back to why the lawsuit exists, right?
Right.
To
Right.
stop that.
Right.
Some people are like, well, we're going to charge veterans outside of closing. That's a RESPA violation. Like you lose your license, like you're going to jail. Sayonara.
Right.
Um,
So is it just if you're a veteran or if you're using a home loan has to be
good,
involved?
good question, Dwayne. So only if you're using a VA loan. Now, remember, non-veterans can use a VA loan, right? You have surviving spouses.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you got this other branch of service that I could never remember. Geo something. They can use the VA loan too. It's really weird. They're not in the
Yeah.
military,
Yeah.
but they
It's
can use a VA loan.
I've heard of that. It's somebody called me and they was like, yeah, I work for such department in DC and I got a DD 214. It's like the office of Surgeon General or something. I was like, it was
Something
weird.
weird where I'm like,
Yeah.
who you be? I'm like,
But
who are these? Like these are like little, I
yeah,
don't know.
so just so I'm clear, because I think I'm a little bit confused. So let's just say I'm selling the house.
Yep.
Okay, I'm selling the house, um, and you're buying the house.
Yep.
If I'm selling the house, I'm just selling it. I'm going to move to Virgin Islands or whatever. I don't have to pay because there's no VA. If there's the home that I'm selling, does it have to be under a VA home loan currently?
No. So if you're selling the property,
Uh,
you can do whatever you want to negotiate with the listing agent or
okay,
sell it by owner. Okay.
okay.
It's
So
only on the buy side.
okay, okay.
Yep. So if you are like, well, I negotiated a 1% listing fee and I'm not offering a co-op fee. So you say I'm only paying 1% to the listing agent, and then you're not paying a fee to my buyer's agent. I come in and I have an agent. Well, I can't pay the agent a 2 or 3% a fee, even though I agreed to it.
Mhm.
Legally, you just can't do it.
You know
Okay.
what? It might be a business
I
where
know.
no, check this out. Or you could start a membership, right? And or just do YouTube videos and walk people through that buying process.
Yeah.
Because on the flip side of that, think about this because I have a rental property, right? And I was had a property management company. And they were like, oh, we could be the listing agent and help you purchase a home. So I said, well, what if I use a VA home loan? You all don't get that 3%. They was like, well, that's kind of up in the air. And this was after you and I had talked,
Yep.
on our last live stream. And they was like, well, we probably wouldn't be able to do it. And I said, then that means you're discriminating against me because I'm a veteran. Everything
Right.
stopped. No more email, no more emails. No more, it
But that's
just
the
stopped.
challenge, right? That's the challenge is that will there be steering
Yeah.
because of these restrictions? That's my biggest fear. So it kind of goes back to this lawsuit again, where it's like, I don't know. It's right now it's a vicious circle. There's not much speculation. It's pretty
Yeah.
straightforward. The VA, in order for the VA to change the rules that veterans can pay, has to go through Congress.
Yeah.
Half the people out there like we don't care if we pay or not. The other half are like it's gonna hurt us. And so if that's what you feel, there's the solution to do it yourself. And to your point,
Yeah.
Dwayne, that's what I was thinking of doing is like a membership because the problem with that is that you can watch as many videos as you want to get a general idea. The problem is it's in the details. So if you
Yeah.
don't have somebody walk you through that process and at least give you an ideas of things you don't think about, that makes a big impact for what you can do.
So even in that, if you did a membership like that, and are you able to, as people go through that process, look at their paperwork and be like, "Oh, this is not right. That's not right," something like that?
Yeah, to a certain degree,
Okay.
definitely. Because some of
Okay.
the stuff, like, you run an attorney to review, but at least then you have those resources, right? From anywhere from, how to use the websites to search properties.
Yeah.
How do I negotiate? Because, like, people, if you think to yourself, I have a home and I checked Zillow and this is what my estimated value is, that's wrong. And even
Mhm.
on there, it says that it's not accurate. Okay. So you really have to get a good gauge of that. And that's a challenge because even when you ask a realtor for what's called a CMA, a competitive market analysis, they give you a range. Well, I can go online and get a range of that, right? Look at similar homes, despite how you search. So yeah, so I mean, I think it's a good idea, Dwayne. That's kind of what we're leading towards is like, what can we do, and be fair to everybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Charging a fee for the expertise and time because it does take a lot of time in a real estate transaction of somebody's time, but this would be separate from the transaction where it's basically like a third set of eyes looking at it objectively.
Right. And that's what I did with my membership. And, we started with, I think, 22 lessons, and then we had several different resource links. Then we're doing 2 live streams a month. The first one was today, and I'm giving it like a block of instruction. So, yeah, I think that would be definitely a good idea. Was there anything else you want to add to that, Dave? You want to get back into some couple of
Let's get back
questions?
into it, and I'll bring up some other stuff a little bit later. Otherwise, I'll be
Okay.
talking the whole time.
Greetings from Chi-Town at
Oh
Dwayne and
yeah,
panel guests. Yeah. Divine order. If you feel like going out to 95th and Dan Ryan and give me a couple of Polishes, that will be most
damn, they got some good
appreciated.
Polishes. You say
Yeah.
that because I'm Polish. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
okay.
uh, I thought my phone went off. Sound
Oh,
like
no,
my
you good.
phone. Hello. How you doing, Mr. Smith?
Yep,
Man, Mill said his wife with a 780 credit score. Okay. I know
that's
you.
good. Yeah, so I would definitely at least schedule a call because then that way you're not sitting in limbo on it. Yeah, so just check out in the description. There's a link to apply, and then we can walk through it. Yeah, never disqualify yourself.
Right. Smash the thumbs up. Appreciate it. The real deal. Yep. Oh, got a donation. Thank you.
Thank
City
you.
Nights. Definitely appreciate it. Listen up for them golden nuggets. Yeah, them nuggets. I've been using that term in the videos. I'm like, you know what? Just dropped the nugget. I wonder if you caught it.
Yeah, yeah. No, people every time I'm talking to folks that watch your channel, Dwayne, they're like, "Yep, that's another good nugget, David." I'm like, "You getting that from Dwayne?"
Yeah. Just got my findings back, and I went from 80 to 90, but I noticed that pest planus was 30, and I noticed that I have plantar fasciitis. With this being a supplemental pill? Okay, Brian, a lot of people jump right to a pill. I'm doing a pill. One, you got to get a copy of your VA claims folder first, so you have full transparency, and then you can determine, okay, were they if they combined them, pest planus and plantar fasciitis, and if they did and they were supposed to be broken out, and also if they separated them, would it be pyramiding? Got a YouTube video talking about pyramiding. Okay, so those questions that you would have to answer before going to high-level review. That's you, Dave.
No. I know that was a short answer. So you
No.
cannot use a VA loan. There's no reverse mortgages on VA loans. Now the thing is that who offers them is FHA, and then there's also some portfolio loan products that are out there that go well above the FHA limit. I mean, there's reverse mortgages that go into the millions of dollars. Okay, but yeah, that'd be something you do with an FHA loan, and you can still purchase with a reverse mortgage if you do a down payment. So it is an option. And right now, there's trillions of dollars of equity that's out there. So, people look at life situations differently. if you're eligible or if you're qualified to do them, you own a home, but you want to live in an area maybe that, it's closer to medical facilities, whatever your situation is, those can be an option. But VA currently, nor in the foreseeable future, offers those.
Okay.
Thank you.
This one for you too, Dave.
All right. Are houseboats at all possible? Marty, great question. We do actually get questions about RVs and houseboats more often than one would think. And the answer to that is you cannot use it with a VA home loan. Now, if you have a home and you want to get a home equity line of credit, a HELOC, then you can leverage the equity in your property to be able to purchase this beautiful houseboat of yours. And hopefully you send us an invite once you have it. Thank you.
I know, right? Especially if you're somewhere where it's warm.
Yeah, where it's warm. But I mean, don't get a houseboat if you're like in Alaska. That's probably not a good idea.
It's one for you too, Dave.
If you get a second VA loan, could it be used to get a VA loan that is assumable from someone else using theirs? All right. So, Chris, on Friday, I'm dropping a video talking about the 5 steps to a VA assumable mortgage. But I'm going to give you some information now on that, okay? I'm not really sure on the question structure because if you can have unlimited VA home loans, okay? The question lies in this is that if you currently have a VA loan, but you want to assume another VA home loan, I'm assuming that's the question. You would have to have enough entitlement left over to assume the second mortgage, like the other VA loan in its full entirety in the assumption. And what I mean by that is that, let's say, like, Dwayne, did you refinance back in 2021 or 2022 and rates are like 2.25%?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, you owned the house before that. So if you bought a house, let's just say, for example, for $600,000, and now it's time to refinance, and the balance is $300,000. You do what's called an interest rate reduction refinance loan. It's your entitlement is still locked into $600,000, even though you refinance at $300,000. It's a common thing people always mistake. They're like, "Well, my balance is $200,000 and my benefits tied up is $200,000." Like, no. It's the original amount of the mortgage that's actually locked in. So when you do an assumable mortgage, when you have multiple VA loans, you just got to know that how much entitlement you have and how much the seller's entitlement is wrapped up, because you have to have enough in its whole to be able to assume that other mortgage, because you can't put a down payment on the actual mortgage to make the entitlement work. I just realized that is confusing because it is very complicated. Okay, like you have to know different parts of it to understand the whole.
Well, let me ask you this, David. Like in my current home, I have a VA home loan.
Mm-hmm.
How do I find out the entitlement?
Great question. So you go to va.gov and then you're able to pull it. Let me just take a look at something here.
Yeah.
Can I let me see if I can share screen. Let's see.
Okay.
Let me see. Is it going to let me share the screen? Then I can show people where to go.
Yep, there it is. Wait a minute. Here it comes. You ready?
Okay. No, I'm ready. I'm always ready. All right. So here, you're going to go to the va.gov website. Okay. You're going to go to VA benefits.
Hold on, wait a minute. Dave, is this va.gov? Because I just pulled up va.gov and mine just looks totally different.
Does it?
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, yep, I got it. You were scrolled down. I see it now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yep. So you go to the va.gov and then you're going to go to, let me take a look which one it is. Yep, records, and then you're going to click how to request your certificate of eligibility. So you're going to click on that. It's going to most likely have you log in. You're going to go right here, right? Request COE, and then you go right into getting your documents. The other way is you can schedule a call with us and we'll get it for you. You're wondering, like, well, why would I go to you when I can do it on the VA's website? Not everyone has access to this. 1, 2, if it comes back that it's not an automated approval, then you have to submit all your paperwork, and that is a process. I'll tell you that. But with us, the VA has like two days or 3 days to turn it around. So that's how you request your certificate of eligibility, and then you're gonna know like how much entitlement you have locked in. Even if you've sold, let's say you had a VA loan, you sold the VA loan, and you don't have a current VA loan, do yourself a favor, request it, because it's just like being in the military and your points. They may not always register all your points that you have. It's same thing here. If you didn't notify the VA that it was paid off, how are they supposed to know? So then you run into some of those challenges. So good question, Dwayne.
Yeah, okay. But when you start talking again, I am going to. You want me to leave this up, or can we take it down?
Yeah, we can close it out. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see what else we got. The U.S. Public Health Service and the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration can also be eligible for the zero down payment mortgage. Is that
nice? I don't know what they do. I mean, I know what the public safety people do, but
right? Public Health Service receipt. Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome.
Somebody had called me a couple of years ago. It was during COVID. And I was like, really? Yeah, I was like, I was just kind of like blown away because I didn't know, Okay, that's you, Dave.
Well, what is the best to view assumable mortgages? I will tell you guys. Let me just go to my channel. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Because I just did a video on. I did a live video with Lourdes talking about understanding the actual process. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm gonna drop it in the link. So I just dropped it in the chat. So assume list is what I use. So I'm actually, it's just full disclosure. Like I do all their lending and pre-approvals with them. But they're the only ones that I know of to date that you can find assumable mortgages. They're not everywhere because they're growing right now. The guy who owns it, Mike, is a Marine. So he's a cool dude. And but yeah, so he wants to help the veteran community be able to get these. Now, on the assume list, not only can you assume VA loans, you can also assume FHA loans and USDA loans if you qualify for the USDA loan. So it actually makes it like a normally I'm always like VA loans are the best because they are, unless you work with big companies, then you get overcharged, underserved, and it's a process, right? We've talked about that before multiple times. Stop going to the big places.
Yeah.
You're paying for, if you like their marketing, you're like, oh man, they have really good marketing. You just paid for it by paying extra money. So keep that in mind.
I gave him $1,500.
Yeah. I mean, that's nothing. We just looked at someone $8,000 and then we all gave him the same rate, 0 fees. I was like, that's beauty. And he's like, man, that they would have wiped out my savings. But the thing is, Dwayne, over 4,000 veterans a month, just over $32 million a month. Which, by the way, if you guys are giving money away, listen, Dwayne and I will give you our PayPal. You guys can just send that money on over. That's fine. You know what I'm saying, Dwayne? Do you $32 million? We could split that. Hit the casino, have a good time. All right. So just imagine every month people are just handing money away. Please stop doing that. Right. You can always reach out to us and we'll help you out with that. But you can get an assumable mortgage with an FHA loan and a VA loan. So sometimes people will be like, well, FHA loan has private mortgage insurance for the life of the mortgage if you put less than 10% down, which most people do. Most people do like 3.5% down. Okay. Even with that in place, it still makes sense to do an assumable mortgage with an FHA loan because of the rates being so low. You're just paying a lot less in interest over the life of the loan. It still makes sense.
Okay. So Dave, I think you need to do a video on this because I logged in and I went exactly the way you did, and I'm looking at my certificate of eligibility.
Dang.
Yeah. So I think you need to do a video on this and put it on the channel and come in the StreamYard like you just did. You can record it and then have your VA edit it and because it's simple, but then I think this is something that you can probably have your VA to do one like a John Doe one. So, and then talk about, because it says entitlement code 05. I don't know what that is.
Means you used
Okay.
your VA loan before. Entitlement
Okay.
10 would be that you haven't used the VA loan.
Okay. So it got the branch of service and it says funding fee, exempt, SC, service connection with monthly award. Then it says prior loans charged to entitlement, has my VA home loan number, the state, the loan amount, date of loan, and then entitlement charge. Does that mean, is that the amount that is left over? Because it says the veteran's basic entitlement is, and it has a number there.
You know what? That is a great question.
That's a YouTube video.
It is a YouTube video. Yeah, it's kind of
video.
tough because I was doing that when I did a video not too long ago, and I did show examples. The
Yeah.
problem, I think, like you're right. Like when I'm doing it myself, it's all my personal information, right?
That's why I say you could just come up with a John Doe one,
Yeah.
a John Doe and change the numbers and all the, because that's what I did for like different templates in my book. I just completed it and just it was a lot of typing, but
Oh, was it?
yeah. But this
Let
one
me
doesn't seem
see.
like it's too much.
No, this is the example. No, I don't have it.
Okay, so we'll keep going. This one is for you, Dave. Stacy Washington.
No, gentlemen, I'm a 90 total, and I've been out of work since the end of December, and I have 2 months behind on my VA loan. I applied for unemployment based on my cervical cancer. So I think this is a combination of both of ours, right? So if you have, where's the first? Oh, I see the first question. Okay, so I'm out of work. I'm 2 months behind my mortgage. So one part, if you're behind on your mortgage, and I just had this call with somebody today, you gotta call the VA. Where's my phone? You guys have to reach out to the VA Regional Loan Center because they're gonna be able to help you. Listen, last year, I'm just looking it up while I put it. The VA helped over 132,000 veterans avoid foreclosure. They got programs out there. Do yourself a service and reach out to them because they will be able to walk you through that and the options you have, not just the lender. So I'm going to drop the number, but it's going to be 877 827 3702. I'm going to drop that I just dropped that in the chat, but that's to the VA Regional Loan Center. You can't just call the regular VA. You actually have to call the VA Regional Loan Centers. They're the ones who administer the program. So yeah, check them out. And then they'll be able to give you some options because like from my side, I can't, but I could at least point you to the resources that can.
But is it? I think I saw something on the website, VA's website, where they're doing something now with foreclosures.
Yeah, so I did a video on the let me look at the thing. It's it's funny because like I could only remember so much, but I'm like, let me just check my video. Hold on 1 second. So it's called, here it is. It's called the Veterans Affairs Servicing Purchase Program. I'm going to drop the link to the video I did down below. But basically, if you're in foreclosure, but you tried to do like you skipped some payments when you did the what's it called? When you did the like during COVID, you couldn't make your payments. It's part of like the CARES Act that they did. So people got royally screwed on that. And then basically now the VA is buying up all these foreclosures. And as long as you can make payments, they're offering you a 2.5% interest rate. And I think, yeah, so there's definitely some pros to that. And I think, Dwayne, for you, it's more of like, how's the unemployability work?
Right. So you're not going to get unemployability just off of cervical spinal stenosis, Mr. Washington. You have to have one disability at 60%. I don't think I've ever seen a neck condition at 60%. Or you have to have a total scheduler rating of 70% or higher with one of those disabilities at 40%. And I tell people, I talked about it today in my veterans, the webinar I gave today for my veterans membership. Know what you are doing when you go after IU. And don't think because you have a VSO. Now, this is not you, Mr. Washington. I'm not saying this to you directly, but anybody, if you're doing IU, don't think, oh, let me go get a lawyer because they're a lawyer. That don't mean they know what they're doing. Don't think, oh, let me go get a VSO and I'll be fine. A lot of them don't know what they're doing. And as soon as something happens and that needle shifts in a different direction and you try to get them on the phone, more than likely they're not going to pick up because they know they screwed up and now they want to talk to you. So when it comes to IU, unemployability is not a standalone claim. It is a claim for increase for the conditions that you state prevent you from obtaining gainful employment. Simple as that. Be careful. Because I rated some of those claims, denied IU, and did a proposal to reduce. Veterans at 90%, denied IU, did a proposal to reduce, went from 90 down to 40, 50. And by law, I had to do it. If I didn't, I get an error and get fired. So just know what you're doing when you go for IU. All right. Oh, Margaret says get a realtor license. You know what? I think Margaret might get her realtor license and just do this pro bono for veterans. Get it like in one state and then get that, what they call a reciprocity. So she work in multiple states. Yeah, Miss Smith, I think you should do that. Yeah, get your license and hey, do it pro bono for all vets.
No, I'll tell you this. Okay. I have 12 licenses, 12. And the amount of continued education you got to do is mind. Look at this. No hair. You think this is natural? No, this is because of all these additional classes and CE stuff, continued education I have to do. But she does bring up a good point. So most real estate associations offer a free real estate license to veterans. So you could get a license, but I don't think you have to if you're just like a one and done, right? It's because you have to pay licensing fees, you have MLS fees. So on average, it's going to cost you per MLS and license upkeep for the year about $1,500 a year. Okay. Keep that in mind. That is an option to do, but it is a costly one. It's time. I mean, listen, I got buddies that flip houses. They make good money. And they don't have real estate licenses. You know what they have? They know off listing properties, and they also have places like realtor.com. I just did a video on like what's the best search engine. So check it out.
Wow. So you said 1,500 to
about, because you have MLS fees, right? So that's going to be about anywhere from $900 to $1,000, $1,200, depending on where you're at. Continued education is another couple $100. You got to take your initial exam, so that's going to also cost you. And if you can get at least a free licensing, you save right there $400 to $600 alone. But remember, you got to take time. Some of them offer it on the weekends. Like you can space out your classes, but that's tough. Like I remember when I did mine, I just took a month off. And I went ham, as they say. I went all out and just like did all the classes, worked, my full-time job plus taking the classes to get these licenses. So
you say you had 6 licenses, but 12. You're in all states, right?
No. I'm so federally, I'm licensed as a loan originator in all 50 states. But I also teach real estate. I teach real estate, so I have additional real estate licenses because I want to be able to, like, when I have conversations, I just don't want to know, like, well, I just know the lending side. Well, no, I know the whole piece. I could teach real estate. I can get you a real estate license. I don't practice real estate because that's not my business, right? I just know how it works. But just like anything, you have to be a subject matter expert. Like you being at the VA rating, you have on-hand experience. That's what makes you who you are. Plus, you got a great set of hair.
No, right? Okay, we got about a little over 15 minutes before we jump off. Excuse me, had a stroke 1 year ago, 3 brain surgeries, got 10% for tinnitus, died for others, was possibly related to my stroke and diabetes, was initially diagnosed with vertigo when I had the stroke. Okay, you got to ask yourself, Gilbert, where do they fall under the 5 ways of service connection? If those conditions do not fall under the 5 ways of service connection and you meet those criteria and you don't meet that criteria under the 5 ways of service connection, yes, they will deny those claims. So number 2, insomnia with depression, need help, advice. Yep. So with the IU part, Mr. Washington. So yeah, if you meet that criteria that I stated earlier, go out to my channel. I did a video, individual unemployability. I probably need to do another one because it's old, but I think it's 38 CFR 4.16. Also, you can find the criteria on pages 1 through 7 of the VA Form 21-526CZ because I went over it today in the webinar. So just Mr. Washington, know what you're doing and do not trust the VSO or lawyer until you ask them certain questions and you know they know what they're doing. Okay.
Yep. And you can also just schedule a call with me. Like, there's no charge. I'll walk you through it. I can't do it, but I can walk you through what you should be doing. That's the easiest way because I really need to know your situation.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. That's for you, Dave.
If a friend is selling a home, we skip the realtors. Can I use you guys to? Yes, you can. We do it actually all the time. Like, because I have a lot of military buddies across the country. So they're like, hey, I'm buying it from another buddy of mine. Can you help us and just like do the purchase? Yes, we can. So then too, this is why also having a background in real estate and finance, I can guide you through, hey, this is what you're going to need to get in order to get this executed, what the attorneys need to do, and then just walk you through that. So definitely I can help with that. Please schedule a call with us.
All right. That's why you need to recast. It's free. Is that for you, Dave? Recast?
Recast normally, what it means is a mortgage can be, when you do an interest rate reduction refinance loan, your mortgage recasts back to a 30-year. But you do have the option of doing an odd term refi. So you could do it between 20 years and 20 and 30 years. So if you want a 21-year mortgage, you can do that. But there's so many factors that go into it. If you assume a VA loan, then the mortgage does not recast. You just pick it up wherever it was left off. So if there's 24 months, 24 years and 2 months left, you're picking up a 24-year mortgage with 2 months left.
And get VASH. You know what that is, don't you, Dave? 80 plus and get VASH.
HUD VASH?
Let's know what you mean, Gilbert.
Yeah, I think it may. That's like a housing. A HUD VASH program is where if you qualify based on your income, they will actually help you make a mortgage payment or a rental payment.
Okay.
So I downloaded my COE automation enabled. Good. So I'll take the Fannie Mae loan limit of 7, my current amount. Is that right? What would I want, or what would be? Use my second loan while I'll open one. Okay. So when you're looking at your certificate of eligibility, you're going to look at. Hold on. You know what? Let me just let me see if I can pull mine up.
Well, Chris be throwing these questions out, don't he?
Man, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. All right, let me look at my COE. Hold on. Oh my god, this is not the current one. Man, I love how you guys do this to me. Right on air, on top of all of it. All right, let me take a look at something. I gotta look at one of these COEs to see how it's structured because it'll just take me a second. Okay. You're going to look at so when you're looking at your COE, and I don't have a blank one to share with everyone. I have it somewhere, but I can't share the one that I have in front of me. So you're going to look at the entitlement amount. Okay. Whatever that entitlement amount is, you're going to multiply it by 4. So if it says you have $125,000 of entitlement charged, you're going to multiply it by 4. So 125,000 means that you used $500,000 of your entitlement. To use a second VA loan, it's based on the single family Fannie Mae loan limit. So in general, across the United States, it's $766,550. So in this case, if you have $500,000 entitlement charged and the limit's 766, you just take the 500,000 minus the 766,550, gives you a remaining VA loan entitlement of 266,550. Now, anything over that amount requires a 25% down payment for the difference. So if you bought a place for 366,550, 100,000 more than your entitlement, you would do a $25,000 down payment. Now remember, in some areas it's higher. It's a 1 million, it's like $1,000,001 and some change. I already forgot what it was. I haven't said it in a hot minute, but then you have more entitlement. But you can look up what the Fannie Mae loan limit is by going to just go to your search engine and type in Fannie Mae AMI tool. And then it's going to take you to where you need to go.
Sounds like a YouTube video, Dave.
You know?
Yeah.
I have a video on that.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do. And like a lot of these things that like come up from these like live events, I go and I'm like, let me just scheme together a video so I can show you guys how to use them.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
This is you, Dave.
I have a question. I'm 100% PNT and I have owned a home and never used my VA loan. Can if I have to get a deal, use it? Okay, so if you own a home, you should still be taking advantage of your property tax breaks. So just make sure you know that. Because people will be like, I don't have a VA loan, and so I never applied for my VA disability exemption for paying property taxes. That's not how it works. You just need to be on the deed of the mortgage, okay? So that's like same thing. Like if you have your parents that have a disability, they live with you, they're probably not paying rent or mortgage. Add them to the title so you don't pay property taxes. Take advantage of that.
No, he said in the next one, he said he does not.
Never owned a home?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see. The first one said own a home. Yeah, you can, as a first-time home buyer, I think it's somewhat complicated because right now the market, depending on where you're at, is pretty hot. And that's one of the things that I was going to talk about is that, listen, right now rates are still somewhat high, but values continue to go up. So it is really hard right now for first-time buyers to be able to get in and get a really good deal unless you're buying in markets that are not like heavily saturated, which everyone's thing is different, right? Some people are able to go to areas where they can, less like that, buy a home, $250, it's beautiful, and they walk out the door. And I've just seen someone now, just $450 purchase price point, beautiful house, with the tax exemption. So so you could definitely get some good deals. It's about who you work with, or if you're doing the searches yourself. If you need help, and let's say, let's first take a look at the financial piece, schedule a call with us. That's going to be step one. Once we know where you stand and where you're comfortable with, right? Never have a lender tell you like you need to spend this much money. Like, nah, they'll tell you, hey, you qualify for this payment, and you should always be like, well, I should probably do it lower if they're maxing me out. That's number one. And then once you have that, then we're also happy to connect you with folks that can help you in that real estate space and that know VA loans and then can walk you through it correctly and not be a used car salesman, which I'm sure there's great used car salesmen out there. Don't be offended. Get educated.
Yeah.
That's your line.
Yeah, don't be frustrated. Get educated.
I know.
All right. My husband was given 100%. It was re-examined and was taken to 7% based on the VA doctor measuring his surgical scars. And I can tell you, if he was 100%, it was not due to measuring his surgical scars. They never did a CT scan to see if the kidney is better or if a cancerous cyst. He has come back We have 60 days to appeal. We're at a loss. Please advise. Okay. You got a lot going on. And what your question tells me, you did not read your notification letter thoroughly. Because if you go through that notification letter, it sounds like you got a proposal to reduce. Now, I did a video. I think I've done a couple of, I did one. It's called RVSR hearing, and the other one is adverse action. This is adverse action because you're going from 100 down to 70. Go back and look at those videos. Go back and read your notification letter because in there they give you an option for RVSR hearing. Once you apply for that, that puts everything on hold. But at that point, you have to figure out a game plan. Okay. So we do offer private Q&A sessions. You can find a detailed description on our website. I'll put the website in the comment for you. And reach out to us. And I'll put the business email in there as well. After you read the description, if you're interested in that, reach out at this email, and then we can go from there. But it is time sensitive because you only got 30 days from the notification letter to do the RVSR hearing. Okay. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They don't give you that long because they want you to miss it. They want you to miss that date. Okay. And I got I just asked you about something. He's like, I got videos on that on my channel. Okay. All right. This is you, Dave.
I'm 20 here. How do I get the VA to give me a 2% mortgage rate? Well, if you got a 3.25, congratulations. And if you're not in foreclosure, you can't get that 2.5% interest rate.
Ooh.
So people are upset about it because there's people like, I do everything I can to make my payments on time. I sacrifice and I struggle. I made my payments on time and I don't have that interest rate. What's up? So I know I get a lot of comments like that on that video, and I get it. But the only way you're getting that is that if you are in foreclosure and you were during that time when they were doing that, because the VA screwed up. The reason why they did it, just so you guys know, is that people had some hardship during that time. The VA did screw them over, like royally, right? Wow. You're like, oh, that's never happened. But they got screwed over bad because they gave out bad information, okay? And they're basically those people during that time that could have gotten those rates didn't. So they're really like focusing on a block of time when those rates were available to the veterans. But because the VA messed up, they're buying those mortgages back and then giving those people those rates. Hope that makes sense.
Okay. So Dave, we got 2 minutes. I'll take a question and then you have a question. And then we'll wrap it up. They found an error during my appeal for sleep apnea. Is this a good or bad? Depend on the error. A lot of people think, oh, they found a duty to assist error. A duty to assist error does not mean an automatic grant for you on an appeal. It could be, oh, the VSR or the RVSR forgot to do some type of development before they denied your claim. That could be a duty to assist error. So what they're going to do, they're going to say, hey, go out and do that development. And if that development doesn't overturn anything, then they're just going to confirm and continue the denial. A lot of people jump to high-level review without getting their claims folder, without full transparency, and they end up losing. This is yours, Dave.
Yeah, awesome that the builder is doing a 2-1 buy down for you or paying for it. Basically, if rates are 7%, in your first year, they're going to be 5%, second year, 6%, third year, 7%. So that's awesome. The VA doesn't have any programs themselves for closing cost assistance, but you can reach out to they have city, county, and state programs for what's called down payment assistance programs. Not all programs qualify to be coupled with a VA loan, so keep that in mind. Or if they do, they have additional restrictions like credit score, area that you're buying in, and your debt to income ratio. Even though the VA does not prioritize DTI, it prioritizes residual income.
All right. So we are
Thank
20
you.
seconds out. So give a shout out to Chris and City Lights for the donations. Thank you both very much for response to the time. Dave, sorry, but
No, you're good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys have questions, drop them in the comment. We'll be checking it.
Yep. So take care, everyone. We are out, and we will let you know when we decide to do the next 4-hour live stream. Okay. Take care, Dave. Thank you again.
Bye, guys.
Yep. Take care. Bye.